Onto the Sussexes, and speaking of controversial. So Meghan Markle, she tried this.
I don't know how they could expect that after all of this time, we would still just be silent.
And it backfired, so then she tried this.
Like, I curtsied as though I was like... Pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty.
And then that backfired, so she tried this podcast.
People should expect the real me in this, and probably the me that they've never gotten to know, certainly not in the past few years, where everything is through the lens of the media, as opposed to, hey, it's me.
And her contract didn't get renewed. So naturally, she's turned her sights to yet another project. Apparently, she's on the cusp of signing a multi-million-dollar deal. Angela, what are the details?
Well, look, there's a lot of speculation that she's going to sign a deal with Audible for another podcast series. Now, I can't see this happening. She spent the entire series of the Archetypes with Spotify interviewing herself. I mean, she did have guests, but all we heard about was Meghan talking about Meghan. So I don't think there's anything left for her to say. There's also some speculation that she's been sort of smooching up to Kevin Costner, who's got a sort of 4-part Western-style opus coming out, and that she'd like an acting role in it. But I'm sorry, you don't go from Suits to a high-profile role like that. He could possibly want her on board because, of course, you know, she's going to attract attention. But he's an A-lister in his own right. I'm not seeing it. No, Meghan's job, the one she would have been really, really good at, was duchessing. She would have been a great duchess if she'd stuck with it, if she'd used that platform to network, to have the gravitas that comes with that role. Sadly, she dipped out before she really could have run away with it.
And Michelle, look, as much as the Sussexes cop criticism, it actually would be great to see Meghan have something to throw herself into. But this feels like a little bit of a kite flying exercise to me.
Yeah, totally. I mean, she's just signed on with a new global management company, so I'm sure they're out there spruiking, trying to get whatever they can from her. But we do have to say as well, Amazon have flat out denied that this is happening, but it doesn't mean that it's not happening. They're just saying that it isn't happening. But look, I just want her to get back to what she does best, Suits, show a little, little skin and like flirt with some hot men. I didn't mind that Duchess. I thought that Duchess was quite good.
Yeah, very different sort of Duchess, yeah, but point taken. And look, British celebrity Steve Coogan, best known for his role as Alan Partridge, has recently been slammed by royal enthusiasts on a podcast. Take a listen.
I think you can be anti-monarchist, but also admit they've done some things right.
Yes, no,
the orange juice is spot on.
I suppose it's just because most of the people who are into it all, those flag-waving, plastic boater people, are just, I think, are kind of idiots because they support a power structure that keeps a foot on the throat of working class people.
Angela, surely labelling people who merely respect the monarchy as flag-waving idiots, probably going a little too far. How was that received in the UK?
Oh, look, there's 1,300 comments on the Telegraph story about it and still counting. I mean, you really know how to alienate an audience when you call them flag-waving idiots. Look, let's just look at the figures. There were 28 million people in Britain watched the funeral of the Queen. There were 20 million watched the coronation. 400 million worldwide were reportedly said to have watched King Charles's coronation. So, look, they may be a declining institution, but the interest in them is not going away anytime soon. So I think Coogan's deeply out of step.
Michelle, I think that's probably right, isn't it?
Yeah, look, I would probably agree with that. But, like, I do think there are some people who would probably agree with him. And as Angela said, look, they are a declining institution. I don't know whether they're going to kind of win back the favour because the Queen was very, very popular. So it's hard to see how we go moving forward and to whether they're going to gain that popularity again. But it's kind of very interesting to me about how that you've got these people who are so staunchly monarchist in England, and then you've got people who are so anti-monarchist, and they never really can find any common ground. But it's interesting to see how it's going to go, the monarchy moving forward.